the morning show. We're coming to you today on WJOPLP Newburyport at FM 96.3 on Channel 9 and on Newburyport Community Media's YouTube station at ncmhub.org. I'm your host, Mary Jacobsen, and I'm just delighted to welcome two people here on a wonderful topic, equine therapy. We're honored to have Marianne Cyr here. She's the owner of Lazy J Ranch in Salisbury and the founder and executive director of Horses Healing Hearts, a 501c3 nonprofit offering equine-assisted services. Emma Jacobs is also here. She's a licensed mental health counselor and owner of Mind Over Matter Counseling. Great name, Emma. And she offers equine-assisted counseling at the Lazy J Ranch. So first of all, Marianne and Emma, thank you both so much for taking time to come visit the morning show today and to talk about equine therapy.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, it's my pleasure, really. Well, Marianne, I hope that we could start with you. I know that you have in the past worked in social services and you have your own business prior to starting the Lazy J Ranch. So please tell us what led you to start the Lazy J Ranch and to found Horses Healing Hearts. And I'm curious, how did you choose the name Lazy J? And Maeve, while Marianne is talking about this, maybe you could show a picture of the stables at the ranch and also the wonderful picture of the horses hungrily eating.
Yes, there you go. So I started the Lazy J Ranch after being out of horses for several years. I met my husband. He was on the mounted unit for the state police. So he has a background in equine services, so to speak. And after being out of the horse industry for many years, I decided I needed to get back to those roots.
Yeah.
So we looked around and found a piece of property, which happens to be 49 Seabrook Road in Salisbury, which is now the Lazy J Ranch and the home of Horses Healing Hearts. So as far as the name is concerned, as you probably heard me say, my husband's name is Joe.
I feel like I know what's coming.
Although the lazy part in the name does not reflect what Joe does around the farm. He's very much involved in the everyday operations of the farm as far as feeding the horses and the other animals, getting hay, and helping with programming. So he is not lazy, but it was kind of a fun play on a word, so to speak.
No, it sounds very Western.
Yes, it does, it does. And if you look up other ranches, you see a lot of lazy somebodies, right? Or lazy letters. So that's kind of where the Lazy J Ranch came into realization. And as far as the Horses Healing Hearts, we had several kids in the neighborhood that would come over and hang around the farm because it all started as a hobby farm. So we would have a lot of folks from the neighborhood coming by, or friends with kids that were having severe anxiety, being out in social settings and so forth. So we would have them come to the farm and work around the animals, and we quickly realized that this is very beneficial to these people who are, having such anxiety amongst other human beings and other settings. But the setting at the farm is very much a backyard setting, family operated, quiet and serene. So we noticed these kids were really starting to change their behavior and becoming, much more comfortable out in social settings and so forth. So we said, we have something very special here with this little farm, and we would like to bring it into something more that we can offer to other people in the community who are suffering from those types of situations.
Well, that's a wonderful observation and just a wonderful outcome of just spending time around horses. It's very straightforward and very effective. Years ago, before we moved to the North Shore, I used to work at Drumlin Farm, an Audubon sanctuary in Lincoln, Massachusetts. And I found that for me, just being around, they didn't have horses, but they had a wonderful Welsh pony named Midnight, and horse and cows and sheep. And there's just something about being around these calm creatures that just brings your blood pressure down almost automatically. You don't have to work at it, you don't have to think about it, it just happens. So it's a wonderful healing resource.
It is, it really is. It really, you see people just, within 10 or 15 minutes of being around the animals and being in that setting, that it just all kind of melts away.
That's
and,
right.
I think also having the outdoor setting, the open air and the open space, it's not confining.
That's right.
It's really helpful for people to
Absolutely.
relax and lose some of that stress and anxiety.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It works for me.
Yeah.
Right? So I know that it works for others as well. I see
Absolutely.
it, I witness it, and we hear a lot of feedback about it. So they're very majestic animals.
Yeah, they are majestic. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
people are in awe when they're around them, and I think their size and their beauty really speaks to people when they come onto the farm.
Yes. And some of us think they smell really good.
I do.
Yep.
I do.
Put it in a candle, please.
Yes.
Yeah. Yankee Candle, if you're listening.
Right.
Actually, the smell of fresh hay I also find just lovely.
Yes.
And I don't know
The
why Yankee
sweetness
Candle
of it.
hasn't
It is
done
nice.
that. But we might be in the minority.
Yes. Well, sometimes Joe and I will go out to dinner, and unfortunately, we didn't have time to change out our boots and clothing, and some people are giving us the look, and other people are like, "Where are you from? Are you from a barn?" So,
Is there a candle that smells like you?
yeah, it either opens conversation or it closes it very quickly. So.
Well, Emma, you have a background as a therapist and counselor. So how did you become engaged with utilizing the healing power of horses in your counseling work?
So I've been an avid equestrian since the age of 8 and a lover of horses since long before that.
Yeah.
My parents literally signed me up for every sport under the sun, and I quit just about everything because all I wanted to do was be around horses. I used to joke that it was in my blood.
Well, it sounds like it is.
And when I first decided to get my master's in mental health, I knew that this was the path I wanted to go down. I just didn't really know how I was going to get there, but I knew it's what I wanted.
Yeah.
And about 4 years ago, I walked onto the farm. I had moved to Salisbury, and I met Marianne, and I was looking for a lease. I was looking to ride. I had been out of the saddle for a little bit, other than riding friends' horses here or there, and I needed to be riding more consistently. And we got to talking, and she was like, "Oh, you're a therapist. We're looking to potentially, do something here." And I was like, "Let's do it."
Synchronicity. Totally.
So kind of just landed in the right spot, and here we are, almost 4 years later, making our dreams a reality.
Well, I love stories like that where there seems to be a synchronicity at work leading to mutually beneficial opportunities. It's very inspiring to hear stories like that and to think life presents us sometimes with the gifts.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful.
It certainly does. Yeah, and it's been 4 years of trying to figure this all out and how we can build upon what both of our dreams and goals are, and how we can help other people in the community. So it's a work in progress, but we're making some great strides.
Well, Marianne, speaking of works in progress, one of the works I know is talk about Operation Forward Movement for veterans and active duty military, and how the horses help participants with the emotional and mental challenges that they encounter.
So Operation Forward Movement is an 8-week program that we offer once a week. So the program provides equine assisted activities for veterans and active military. We work both on the ground and mounted. So it could be grooming and getting to know the horse, leading the horse, and then as the weeks progress, we would do more training type techniques so they could learn to lunge or ground drive, and then eventually we'll be in the saddle with a guided hand walker, unless their ability is there that they're comfortable and they can navigate on their own. The program is designed to improve emotional and mental resiliency. It's co-facilitated by a licensed clinician and an equine specialist, which would be me, because I'm not a therapist.
The dream team.
The dream team, right? That's what we want to become, the dream team. So the power of the horse creates a safe space where the participants can share their stories and experiences without any judgment, because horses do not judge. They do not tell secrets. They do not care about your past. They live in the present and they
Yeah.
live in the moment. So
Yeah.
it's all about now and how you're feeling now
Yeah.
and how we can move forward.
Yeah.
So the program helps the veterans and active military build life skills that can help them filter back into normal, everyday type of society.
What a wonderful gift to offer.
It is.
Because
And
we all hear about, the PTSD that people carry, and just anxiety, and, people see, very challenging things when they're in the military, and to give them a safe, healing space to be able to, have a horse as a healer, to settle, have that, as we were talking about before, that almost automatic response to kind of slow your blood pressure down,
Yes.
to let your stress kind of dissipate from you, and then to have the opportunity to learn things, to be able to learn how to groom a horse, to enjoy the smell of the horse. I'm not giving up on that.
Yes.
And to gradually, in a safe space, learn the skill of riding, which has a rhythmic quality to it that is also, I think, healing. But that's what I wanted to ask you about, Emma, next. What is it, do you think? We've been talking some about the healing people get from horses, but what do you think it is about I guess I'd call it almost the character of the horse, or the energy, the presence of horses that make them such really good therapists and healers, and they don't have to go to social work school.
No, they don't.
it's a
to do
natural.
that.
Oh, they're
Yes,
so lucky. They
naturally.
don't have any of those loans or anything.
Yeah, that's right.
No homework.
No, we have the loan.
I know. They're just incredibly intuitive and sensitive, and as Marianne had touched on, they're non-judgmental by nature.
Yes, right.
Which in itself is so special,
Yeah.
right? Because as humans, we have to try really hard sometimes to
Yes.
not be judgmental.
Yeah.
And we gain these values and insights, I think, by being around horses. Horses can feel everything, right? They get stimulated by us, so they feed off of our energy.
Yeah.
And interacting with clients and horses, I see that every time I step into our round pen, actually, that I have been working in with
And
clients.
Maeve, could you bring up a picture of the round pen, since Emma brought it up now, and show
Yeah.
people what the round pen looks like?
So I've been working with clients in there, which has been lovely. But the horse seems to be able to tell when my client's happy, when they're maybe feeling more stressed or anxious or sad. And they will just kind of use their body language and talk to my client, right? Because that's how horses speak, with their body language.
Yeah.
They have nonverbal cues, so they speak with their eyes and their body and their ears. I had a horse the other day who started kind of smiling and nudging at my client and nudging at
Oh.
her hands, and it was exactly what this client needed in that moment.
So sweet.
And totally brought the mood back to where, she was really upset, and she was like, oh, I needed that.
Oh.
Right, in that moment, and still worked through everything, but in a different type of setting.
Yeah.
Sitting in a chair talking or virtual talking would have been a different conversation and outcome.
Well, and you can tell that the horse is being authentic.
Yes.
Exactly.
As it-
That's all they can be.
They're reading your energy, and they're responding with their own energy expressed through their body.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So-
The horses do not lie.
They do not,
And a
yeah.
horse can only be a horse. It can't be a human.
Yeah.
It doesn't know how. It can't think like a human.
Right,
It can only think
right.
like a horse, and
But-
it can only react.
Yeah,
like
but
a
they're
horse.
mammals, and so they read emotion.
Yes.
Because they have very similar emotions to
Right.
ours,
Yeah.
So, anyway.
It's
Yeah,
really-
and also, I don't know if, but there's something about horses' eyes. They're so big.
Yes.
And you feel like you look into one and it feel like you're looking deep, deep, deep inside a soul.
Yes.
You can, and it's just a remarkable experience.
So just like the
yeah,
flyer
look at that.
here, we have the photo of the eye because
Eye
it's
of the
important.
horse.
Because
It is, yeah.
you can see a lot. in there.
Well, and you feel like they're looking deep inside you
Yes.
as well, in a
Yes.
non-judgmental, authentic way.
And
Right,
it's funny you say
exactly.
that too, and I hadn't even picked up on that on the flyer, but that's actually the background on my phone is
Oh, no kidding.
the eye
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
horse that I lease at the farm, because it's just so impactful.
It is.
It's interesting what you're saying about their ability to read the energy and what somebody might need when I did work at Drumlin Farm, as I said, they had Midnight, the Welsh Pony, and he was wonderful. And a program that we used to do would be to groom Midnight and have kids, because that was a lot of what we did at Drumlin Farm, have school kids come, and that would be an activity. They could come and, use the curry comb, and they loved it. And Midnight could be very cantankerous at times. I mean, you had to be firm. You got to hold that hoof there. But whenever it was a special needs group, Midnight was totally different. You'd be like, what happened to you, Midnight? You're mellow today, But Midnight knew when these kids needed something different.
Yeah. Oh, you can tell when the kids come in and their energy is really high, or they're really stressed out. The horses mimic that. They're really high and they are stressed out, and then as everybody kind of works through the process, you see it all calming down, and then you see them become almost one.
Yeah, interesting.
It's really. It's really a neat thing to watch.
It really is.
It feels really good here to watch that happen.
Yeah.
It's a lot of heart things happening through all of these processes, which
That's
is
right.
how we came up with Horses Healing Hearts, because they truly do heal the heart.
And that's what healing is about, really.
It is.
Starts, in my opinion, it starts in the heart.
It does.
It works ripples outward. So.
It does. It
Well,
does.
Emma, I wanted to ask you, because we hear sometimes about therapeutic riding, and then also equine-assisted therapy. And I was hoping you could explain for everyone, well, what's the difference, the distinction between therapeutic riding and equine-assisted therapy?
Yeah, great question. So therapeutic riding is less formal than equine-assisted psychotherapy or hippotherapy. It's proven to be effective in helping children heal from trauma, as well as improving their confidence and self-esteem. Therapeutic riding involves riding horses under the supervision of a certified therapeutic riding instructor. So a little bit different than maybe just going and taking riding lessons, right? Which in itself could be therapeutic, right? I would argue that just being in the saddle for me is therapeutic, right? As Marianne said, right? The presence of horses can be therapeutic. I know when I walk onto the farm, especially if I've had battles with my children in the morning, right? Which, by the way, getting them into school routines is never easy after summer break.
We all need a little
right? But I walk into the farm and it's just like that moment, right? But the therapy from therapeutic riding focuses on understanding and cooperating with the horse, and is effective for building self-esteem and self-efficacy within the participants. So it's another level there. Where the equine-assisted therapy or counseling involves working with the horses in a non-riding capacity. So the work that I'm doing, there's no riding involved. My clients engage in activities that may be grooming, feeding, or leading the horses. Sometimes the horse is just simply present in the round pen with us. There have been times where I've had a client that is unsure if they want the horse that close. So we're somewhere else on the property where we can see the animals, right? The horses, we also have goats and chickens. There are some cats that come onto the property.
Oh, I'll bet. I'll bet there are cats.
We love the kitties.
We do.
Barn cats.
And, it's just the presence of the animals, and we work our way onto maybe being able to touch the horses as well. So you don't always have to go right into being with the horses. Some people aren't ready for that. But equine-assisted therapies can help with mental health by using the horses and the human-animal bond to promote emotional well-being and that restorative healing to help people get well. Equine-assisted therapies can be beneficial for those with a variety of mental health diagnoses. So I kind of assess when people are reaching out to me, like, is this beneficial for this person? Because it's not right for everybody, right? It's great for lots of different people and different diagnoses. So I kind of assess, like, is this a good candidate for this?
Well, Thank you, Emma. That's very helpful. You're very clear about it. And I totally understand the difference now that you've explained it. And it's been fuzzy for me in the past. But I understand with the equine-assisted therapy, you could have people who might be drawn to the idea of being around an animal, but be reluctant to just go right up to one in the beginning.
Yeah.
And so you're talking about a setting where people can be around the animals, even at a distance. And I think you get a benefit even because you're outside, as you were talking about.
yes.
And that's healing
The setting.
all by itself.
The setting
Nature itself is
Yes.
a very powerful healer.
Yeah.
But then they can be in the background, but they can slowly kind of desensitize themselves, you know, and approach, get closer and closer, and you know, get the benefits of being in that environment. It's interesting, you know, when I used to be around the farm, as I've mentioned, being around the farm animals, I thought, oh, what is it that I like about being around these beings so much? And in addition to everything talked about, I said, well, they're never sitting there going, why me, Lord?
Right.
Why me, Lord?
Right,
You know?
right. They don't carry that.
No,
They don't carry
it's
that.
in the moment.
Yes,
I had
exactly.
someone ask me the other day, another fellow horse person, you know, what is wrong with us? What is it that's in our brains that makes it so we're just like, we have to be around these animals all the time? And I said,
Yeah.
no, I don't know, but it's a wonderful thing.
Or what is right with you?
It's therapeutic.
What is right with you, and what would be better about the world if we took better care of all the animals and kind of shared our environments with them? So I'd flip that question.
I like it. I'm going to bring that back and rephrase it to that person. It's something right with us.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And sometimes we do some mindful breathing exercises also
Oh,
to
yeah.
help the clients
Yeah.
get into the setting and just feel at ease. And it also helps the horses get in
yeah.
sync with us too.
Yeah.
So that happens
Yeah.
at the beginning typically of a lot of the programs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that makes me think, Marianne, of that wonderful sound that horses make when they breathe out.
Yes.
And it's so audible.
Yes, it is. And we actually have a few that snort. Right? We do have a few that snort. So we typically know, okay, what is going on over there?
Yeah.
We hear that little snorty sound coming out of them. But they can be comical. So they also make people laugh. And as we all know, laughing is good for
Yeah,
people.
absolutely.
Right? So they have the
Absolutely.
healing component. How they ground us. They have the laughing component that makes us feel
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
And the setting and just everything. It all comes together.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And there was something else that I wanted to ask you about, Marianne, because, you know, I know about frequently people will take dogs into libraries or classrooms,
Yes.
and so I knew about, you know, reading dogs,
Yes.
you know, because it's calming and the children's confidence reading
It does.
increases because they know the dog is just going to listen and not judge, you know.
Correct.
But I was unaware of horse-powered reading and math. And so I was so intrigued when I saw that on your website, and I hope that you could describe what is horse-powered reading and math?
So, horse-powered reading and math is a program that we offer after school. It could be an individual one-on-one program. We also, which we call Pony Pals.
Okay.
And then we have a program called Horse Tales Book Club, and we do that with a group setting. So that happens once a week as well. So we have a novel. The kids will get together. The students will get together with the facilitators, and they'll have homework, so to speak, every week that they read a few chapters. We have a round circle setting that we read out loud if they're comfortable. It's voluntary. We also discuss the book, and we have some game activities that we play, and we try to relate the book back to parallel it back to their lives and things that might be going on in their life. And then the second part of that, this is an hour and a half session. The second portion of it is focused on horsemanship, which can start with ground activities and then go into mounted activities. And we use props and toys and games, and we create obstacles that could represent a blockage that the kids might be suffering at home. It could be, so we let the kids set up the obstacle and they take the horses through the obstacle, and the obstacle will have the things that are inhibiting them from being a good reader or good in math. So it could be, this ball represents me being hungry after school, and that's a distraction from learning how to read because I'm reading and then all of a sudden my belly's speaking to me, right? So we give them skills to help them overcome those
Yeah.
obstacles. And
Wonderful.
they have the horse as their reading buddy. So they could
Right.
be reading in the barn to the horse for a portion of the session, and then moved out into the arena and actually doing mounted or groundwork with them, going through the obstacles.
And I think you have a poster that shows illustration of some of what happens. I love that
Yes.
picture. If you want to hold that up.
So this is a
so
group
people can
that
see
came
that.
out. This is these Salisbury Lion Cubs.
Okay.
They came out as a group, and they participated in some of the horse-powered reading. I think I have a couple more here. So basically, we created an obstacle out in the arena on this particular day. The horses and the students ride through the obstacle that they created, and then at the end they had the horse and the student got to pick a word on the ground. So not a word, but just a paper that said
Yeah.
adjective, noun,
Okay.
food, or color, or something of that nature. They pick that up, and then they take that word and they go and they write a word that relates to that. And then we bring it back.
Brilliant.
We bring it back into the barn.
That's
So this
brilliant.
is the piece in the barn. So once they come back into the barn, they create a story. So we have a story. So it's essentially it's a Mad Lib, right? So they and the horse have created these words, and we plug them all into the story, and then we read the story. This particular one was on the ranch. So
Wonderful.
they wrote a story about being on the ranch that day through the horse-powered reading with the help of their reading buddy, the horse.
This is brilliant. What kid wouldn't want to do that?
It's so much fun.
I want to come to it.
It's honest to God, it's one of my favorite programs that we offer.
Absolutely.
Because it's fun. I'm playing with horses, I'm playing with children, and yeah, it's
And
really
finding very creative ways to help people learn. That's just really wonderful.
It is, it
It's
is.
a
And there's a-
win-win-win on every front.
fun. There are a lot of different things that we do with the horse-powered reading. Like
Yeah.
we have an anatomy board, and we have a blanket on the horse. So we have the anatomy board teaching them the anatomy.
Yeah.
So they're not only learning anatomy, but they're
Yeah.
also learning the words because we help
Wonderful.
them sound it out, and then they place the word from the board onto the horse.
Wonderful.
So they're making those connections. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Oh, it sounds like just hugely fun and
It
such a
is.
brilliant idea.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
so-
And horse-powered reading is a global program.
Okay.
So
Good to know.
It's a wonderful program. I love it.
Absolutely. Well, you have a fundraiser coming up because everything you do takes money, of course, and
does.
Horses Healing Hearts is a nonprofit. So tell us about the fundraiser coming up on October 12th for the Horses Healing Hearts Saddle Up Social Benefit Auction Concert and Country Style Dinner. So tell people what they can come to and what they'll enjoy about this event and whether they need to register for it if they're interested in going and how they can get more information.
Okay, so the event encompasses a live and a silent auction. We'll also have a country-style dinner that will be catered by Fat Belly Barbecue. I don't know if you're familiar with them. And then we have live entertainment, which is the Gavin Morengi Band.
Okay.
He's an up-and-coming 16-year-old from Salisbury. He's
have
actually
heard his
made
name.
it. He's
Yeah.
made it to Nashville, so we're
Wow.
super excited that they volunteered to come and play at the event. So we'll have some live music. We'll have some fine country style dining.
Okay.
And we'll have some fun with our live and silent auction and also some raffles. We'll have horses on site that
All
day.
right, now there's a draw.
Yes,
We'll
we
have some of our four-legged friends with us.
Yes, we will. So we have two new additions to the Lazy J and Horses Healing Hearts programs. Their names are Rex and Sugar.
Okay.
They are two miniature horses.
Oh.
Sugar is only 30 inches and
Oh,
Rex
wow.
is
Okay.
34. So they're little guys.
Little guys,
So
yeah.
they're planning to accompany us the day of the Saddle Up Social. And we will have lots of great raffle prizes and auction items that have generously been donated by lots of businesses in our community. And
Wonderful.
we're so grateful and thankful to each and every one of them for supporting us in our mission to help others. So the event is on October 12th. It's from 3 to 8 p.m. And it will be held at the Red Ridge Farm in Salisbury. It's kind of tucked away in a beautiful setting. If you don't know about it, it's an amazing venue. We're super excited to be there, and it happens to just be a mile from us.
Oh, wonderful!
So we're
You're just down the road then.
It's just around the corner. Yes.
Great. Okay.
And the tickets are $65 for a person, or $500 for a table of 8.
Yeah.
And you can get the tickets through our Facebook page, which is Horses Healing Hearts Inc. In Salisbury, Mass. Or you can look us up on our website, which is www.hhh-inc.org. Here's a little picture of the flyer. So you can
And
see.
a picture of Gavin Merengue there.
And a picture of Gavin Merengue.
His cowboy hat and guitar.
His cowboy hat and guitar. So yeah, we're really excited about this event. This is our first big event. Like I said earlier, it's taken us a long time to really build up this organization. We became a 501c3 in 2001, and it was a very slow process, but we've recently been lucky enough to recruit some wonderful folks from the community to be part of the board.
Wonderful.
And this new
That's
board
great.
is
That's
working very hard to bring us to the next level,
Great.
because it is expensive to operate these type of operations. And the thing about Horses Healing Hearts is we never want to turn anybody away, ever. So what the Horses Healing Hearts was created for is to provide the funding for the veterans, for first responders, for families that are in need, so they don't have to pay and we don't have to turn them away.
That's wonderful.
So that's basically what the Horses Healing Hearts is all about.
Well, Horses Healing Hearts is wonderful.
We're excited.
What you do is just, it just is so full of kindness and compassion and wonder and magic, and the beauty of these wonderful animals and the way that they can form such healing relationships, reciprocally healing relationships with humans. So I think it's wonderful. And we're out of time for today, but I can't thank you both enough for coming and talking to us about Horses Healing Hearts and Lazy J Rants and the wonderful things that you do. And I wish you all the best. So thank you so much for coming and sharing your work with us today. You are the dream team.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. There's a whole crew of us. It's not just us. There's a whole crew, a support crew at the farm, and they're all equally as compassionate about this as we are.
But passion and compassion, they come through very clearly.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate you taking time to come on the show and talk with us today. And I wish you the best. It sounds like an exciting fundraiser. So people who are interested, go check out those websites. All right, thank you. That's all for today, everybody. Please join us again next Thursday at 9 for the morning show. Till then, everybody, be well. Farewell now.